Hello, my name is Kate. This is Castle Tutelage, your two-way self-defense law network. What we do is we help people understand the law of self-defense in the simplest terms possible. We take the fear out of getting it wrong. One of the people that I like talking to over the last 6 months is Lazaro Angelus Lanza. He is a lawyer out of New York. Don't let that fool you. He absolutely knows what he is doing. And every time I get to talk to him, I learn from a different perspective from a person who makes the sausage in the industry. So, Lazaro, how are you?
I'm doing well, Jeff. And how are things by you?
Yeah, it's been a busy few months, and haven't been able to do a lot on the two-way self-defense law side, but you helped me get back into the mix a lot. You are a criminal defense attorney out of New York. Again, what I say is you know how the sausage is made, and you have a book out there that teaches people about how the sausage is made and really what to look out for that. Can you describe a little bit about the book and how you got involved in that?
Yeah, so I love the expression, know how the sausage is made, because, we don't really want to know what's in hot dogs and sausage, right? So we don't know how it's made either. And so MMA Law, let's call it the sausage books. They're called MMA Law, and you can find it on Amazon and soon to be on Barnes & Noble as well. Okay, look, this is how it goes. We're going to cover some areas of the book. The primary gist of it is this. What the laws say and what reality is are two different things. So a lot of us are thinking that, for instance, the laws allow us to defend ourselves. In percentages, 99% of the time, if you defend yourself, you're going to minimally wind up being arrested. And it's about a 90% after that, you're going to be charged, and you're looking at about a 90% after that you're going to be prosecuted. Your chances of surviving trial are less than 50%. So once you're charged and you're prosecuted, once prosecution starts, you can look forward to a higher than less likelihood that you're going to be in prison. So that's what MMA law is about. So what can we do to defend ourselves in a world that's gone crazy, where self-defense is no longer allowed for the most part? If we look at nature, bugs, grass, trees, vegetables, they all have some kind of self-protection on them. They're allowed to defend themselves. It's a basic law of life. So when crazy people start making crazy things happen, such as take away our ability to defend our lives, we have to deal with that until things change. But until things change, we're going to face our reality. So MMA Law is a book to wake you up, to help you be aware, to raise your level of consciousness to what's going on. It's written in a very raw, provocative way, so that it's not a dry legal read. So, and nor am I a dry legal person, as look at my appearance. Okay, it reflects who I am.
Where's your three-piece suit? Come on.
Say that again, sorry?
Where's your three-piece suit? Come on.
Yeah, in the fireplace. So, it's kind of like when I go to a doctor, I just like you guys, see doctors and such, and they come in and I stop them when they start the artifice. Artifice is a word meaning a group of words particular to a particular genre. So when they start with the blah, 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 medical stuff, say, look, listen, dude, just tell me what's going on, okay? So if you found a lump or a bump or whatever, a crump, just tell me and let's talk, okay? I don't want to hear this nonsense because I didn't go to medical school. It's not my thing. Just if somebody came in my office or here or on phone, whatever it may be, I'm not going to start using all kind of jargon. There's no need for that. So we can just talk as people. We're all people. And all that jargon, by the way, means nothing, okay, it doesn't mean anything, except it sometimes and it has legal bearing, and when it does, I'll use it or I'll say it. Other than that, in this interview and with Jeff, whatever we do moving forward, you're not going to hear me throwing legal terms around just nonsense for no sense, because there is no sense to it. Okay, so we're just going to talk.
Yeah, part of you really specialized into an aspect of self-defense law that puts lawyers' kids through college, and that is MMA fighters, martial artists getting into a situation where it gets them into trouble, and all they really think that they're doing is that they're defending themselves because, well, my dojo has taught me this way, and this is the way that I should do it. Have you ever heard of something called Enter the Dojo? And I kind of, and I want to show you a clip, and hopefully you can. Do you see the Enter the Dojo? Do you see it?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me, and I'm going to be playing this clip. Tell me if this is the prototypical dojo mentality and how people get into trouble. It's going to be about a minute long.
Sure. Let's go.
All right, let's say some guy gets up in your face in the street, sticks his finger out, puts it in your chest. Here's what you do. You're going to secure the wrist, then you're going to break the finger. Break the wrist, break the elbow, break the jaw, smash the groin, break the nose, break the knee, break the ribs, restop the groin, knee drop the pelvis, kick the head, stomp the head, stop the back of the neck, restop the groin, and exit out. Then if you have anything in your pockets, you can use to hit them, stab them, whatever. Yes.
Is that really necessary?
Well, no, if you have anything in your pockets, you just drive over them.
No. The whole thing seems a little excessive. The guy gets in your face, and so he basically disables him for life.
Hopefully. I'll tell you what. When he's in the hospital, you're at home with your family.
Yeah, it's very important to be home with your family, right?
Which is not going to happen, dude. Okay. Yeah.
I'm trying to, oh, here we go, stop the share. I'm still learning this software. So I used to play this little part in my live classes, and it really reveals a lot of that mentality. And in your world, that's the mentality. In my world, I got a shiny new gun and I got to use it. What
Exactly.
does the MAA, that kind of a profile, dangerous to the average person?
It's insane. Look, I have to speak truth, otherwise I can't help people. At the same time, I'm trying to not insult people, so it's a fine line, and I'm going to try to thread that needle now, okay? People like myself, and by the way, folks, I'm a martial artist, so I wrote this from my specialty. I made a specialty in law firm. I'm going back. Okay, I wrote this book because, being a martial artist, it occurred to me that no one was speaking about this. Yes, there are a lot of books out there that deal with the Second Amendment, which does in some which way refer also in MMA law. However, no one really covered this area where this new fad, it is a fad. There's a tremendous growth in the MMA industry, the martial arts industry, whatever it may be. So we go to dojos and we have these aggressive alpha males saying, when people get in your face, exactly, grab the wrist, smash them, crash them, and dash them. If you did anything along the lines of what this guy told right there at all, you're not going home to your family, not tonight. And yeah, exactly. You're not going home tonight. You're not going home next year. And Christmases and Hanukkahs, whatever you celebrate, are not going to be happening probably for, I'm not exaggerating, 20 years. Okay, so MMA law, yes, it focuses more on the ridiculousness. Now I'm being insulting in some way. I don't mean that. I just have to speak the truth again, of the over-aggressive training that goes on without the training that should be included, which is, guys, let's do training here about how to fight and defend yourselves if necessary. Now, the if necessary part is not what's done. There's no one in dojos, for the most part, is saying if necessary, whereas in my training, and I do train people also in MMA and such, the first thing I'm saying out of my mouth is, before we do this, to understand that you're not to do this unless it's absolutely necessary. What's absolute? It's an absolute term. It means there wasn't a choice. So I'm going to let Jeff run, and then after that, I do want to enter what I call the gray zone, which Jeff and I have discussed before, but this is really the critical element of when I say if necessary, because it's very tricky to know when necessary. Yeah, please, Jeff.
Reasonableness is a tricky word because it means different things to different people at different times in their lives. Is one thing reasonable in another jurisdiction, or another prosecutor is going to be looking at it? And for me, that's the biggest gray area in the world. It sounds like you're going to be coming up with another book that handles that gray zone, and what is illegal in Minnesota may be totally acceptable in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, because the prosecutor has no will to prosecute you. So the equalization of the law between people is a mirage.
That's exactly right. Jeff, very wise words, and Jeff's a mind reader because you knew that. The second book, The Gray Zone, is already in process, and we're about maybe a quarter way done. Okay, so what's the gray zone? Here we go. A guy's in your face, or guys, whatever it may be. There is a point where if you don't do something, now do something could be punch, kick, elbow, knees, whatever, if you guys studying martial arts such, or if you have a firearm, that you maybe make it known that you have a firearm, show it, pull it. If you have a knife, again, show it, pull it, whatever it may be. And if you don't do that, just as Jeff and I have spoken in the past, so you guys understand how things work, the back of the head, if anybody's watched any boxing match, you know that they don't allow punching in the back of the head. Why? Because it's extremely vulnerable and soft. So if a guy just does a, with my hand will show, boom, okay, on your shoulders, and you were not prepared, or he just hit you hard enough, a big guy hitting you, you're probably gonna fall over. And you hit the back of your head, even on grass. Jeff and I were joking last time about how grass is not as soft as you think it is, okay? If you hit the back of your head in the ground, if you're lucky, you may wake up, and you may wake up to, I'm gonna put this in as clean way as possible, a nurse doing things to you that are, for most people, not enjoyable. Okay, so.
Most of it's a sponge bath.
Right, a sponge bath, right. You may not be able to move your body, and now we're talking about hell on earth. Okay, so you're paralyzed, and it could be that that's the way you're going to live the rest of your life. It's worse than jail, it's worse than anything. You're a prisoner in your own body. So yes, now you're saying, right, that's why I'm going to pull my knife, my gun, punch him, kick him, knee him, but swing, back kick, back fist, whatever, you martial arts guys. Okay, great. You do that, and here comes reality now. You're going to be arrested, charged, and prosecuted. Is that fair? No. Does that suck? Yes. Is it BS? Big time. However, that's what's going to happen. So what do we do in the gray zone? Okay, so the next question, I'll answer myself. Okay, here we go. In my opinion, all I can do is give opinions here. These are not legal. First of all, guys, and by the way, as well, Jeff understands this. I'm not giving out any legal advice here whatsoever. I'm just a man who's giving opinions, and so no one should take any of this as legal advice. As an attorney, I am not representing you right now or in any which way. Okay, that all being said, legally is BS, blah, 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 but it's true. You should learn how to deter violence. Meaning, for instance, verbal judo. The guy is a drunk guy in your face in a bar, you're in a pub for some reason. Instead of getting angry because he says your mama, blah, 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 blah. He doesn't know your mama, he doesn't know you. So why are you getting angry? Well, it's my mommy, so I'm going to wind up, whether she's alive or dead, no one's going to talk to my mother, blah, 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 blah. Okay, no problem. Let me tell you what's going to happen. In the 5th year anniversary, you wake up in your little cell, your cage, your animal cage. You're not going to be thinking, yes, I defended my mother's pride. You're going to be thinking, oh my God, why did I do that? So leave your ego at home, number one. Number two, learn body language. People tend to flag when they're going to do something. Watch what they're doing. Learn this stuff. Study this stuff. Study body language. If you see the guy planting his back foot, it means he's probably about to throw a right punch. If you see a guy looking around left and right, he's looking to see, are there police? Are there people watching? Are there cameras? If he changes his eyes, where he starts looking you directly in the eye and he drops it to your body, it means he's now looking for where he's going to strike. And I can go on and on. You got the idea. Okay. And lastly, number 3, our hands should go up. Now, if we make a fist, we're showing aggression. We're going into primal wiring. We're telling the guy we're going to go. And cameras, by the way, which are being brought up in court, whether I'm on the prosecuting side or defending side, I'm going to bring those cameras in if I can get an evidence. If I put my hands up here, right? Look, guys. Now, if a punch is thrown, I can block, hopefully. Or if my hands are up, I can strike, right? So defend or strike. For you people who have firearms, this may be a little bit different, however. I would practice putting my hand where it has to go to pull quickly. I would still have my hands up because if he throws a punch, it may not work. So the gray zone. I'll summarize the Jeff run again. I admit, I agree, I'm granting that there is a point in time where what does gray mean? There's no black and white answer here. There is no correct answer. Is it possible you're going to die if you don't preemptively strike? Yes. Is it possible that you're going to wind up in prison? Highly likely, in fact. If you do preemptively strike, yes. You're saying to me now, there is no win here. That's correct. A situation started. Unfortunately, you didn't start. And because the law sucks now, I'm talking about the system, I'm not talking about anybody in particular, I'm not personalizing anybody. The system sucks. You're now in a situation where gray zone started. You have to do the best you can. And gray zone coming out in a month or so, will be walking you through what to do in gray zone.
Yeah, this is an important part where the law actually says that you're in imminent threat of death or grave honor. It doesn't have to be an actual fight, but the thing about that is your narrative has to be strong. Just because if you say that there was a fervent movement with a guy reaching around his equator to go to his 4 o'clock position to lift up and present a gun at you, well, that hidden movement, if you know that and you can necessarily prove it, that if he wraps around there but he doesn't come up with a knife or a gun, and you go ahead and pull that trigger, you got a lot of uphill challenges. And there's a lot of people who are, I've been teaching this stuff for about coming up to 10 years now. And in the beginning, it's like, well, it's a matter of self-respect if you don't put this person on the ground. But over the years, it's generally coming into acceptability that, hey, you know something? I have 2 feet. I got a head in my head, a head and logical brain in me, even though that I may be peeing down my leg when someone's attacking me.
Right.
I have other options than just pulling the trigger. And then you have this subset of people who are saying, you know something, if you listen to this guy, you listen to Lazaro, you listen to Jeffrey. I don't ever call myself Jeffrey. I just saw it on the screen. But if you listen to Jeff, if you listen to him, you are going to kill yourself. And then they get into this diatribe. I would rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. Crap. The most unappealing. I'd like to talk a little bit about, now that we're at, there basically says, I don't give a crap what the law says. I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and I'm going to put my hands into the jury. But jury nullification is a mirage, because your defense attorney isn't going to be able to get up there and say jury nullification. The judge will shut you down. They arrest people who give out jury nullification pamphlets at the state or county courthouse. You can't do that. The only time you're going to get jury nullification, if you get someone like me on your jury who knows what jury nullification is, and I would use it. Maybe not for a self-defense case, but 10 years ago when I started doing this, Rosa Parks died. I would use jury nullification if they ever brought Rosa Parks to trial for not getting off a bus because a white person wanted to sit on there. I would like to say, that law is unjust. That's bullshit. I'm going to go on my merry way, because I'm not only the finder of fact, I am the finder if the law is just. It may not be totally true in the self-defense world because you're actually killing somebody, but that saying, I don't give a shit about what the law says, I'm just going to do it because I'd rather be in jail for the rest of my life than be dead. Well, tell that to your wife, your children, you know.
You know, it's what you said is golden words. Jury nullification. Look, part of the process, if I'm going to defend you hypothetically, is we're going to go through voir dire. Yes, now I'm using legal terminology. Okay, so what is voir dire? Or dire, some people say. I am going to make sure that as much as possible that you have a jury that is going to be fair to you. What am I dealing with? I'm dealing with generalists. Understand? Have you been to Walmart lately, people? Okay, that's what you're dealing with. I'm going to have Walmart shoppers in front of me. At the end of the day, we're going to have I'm going to choose the best Walmart shoppers. However, no offense to Walmart, by the way, don't sue me, Walmart. Okay. So we're not saying anything against Walmart. Shopping Walmart's fine. Okay, great. Now that being said, we have Walmart shoppers. Okay, and now these not necessarily higher consciousness beings are going to be hearing evidence, and you are the defendant. And if I was on the other side, you know what your name is? Defendant. I am never going to use your name. Why? Because you know what a trial is? It's a psychological game. It's chess. And first and foremost, I want the jury to think of you as a defendant, because psychologically, once I have been implanted in them, I'm going to use, by the way, if I'm good, a good trial attorney, and I am, and other ones are as well, and there are many good ones out there. There are a lot of bad ones too, by the way. I study NLP and other influence and persuasion techniques, of course, because that's my job. Whether it's words, it's martial arts of paper. There's papers I write. Okay, we use martial arts not just physically. Plus, lawyers are martial artists of the words. The best ones win. We saw O.J. Simpson, for instance, right? Let's not get in controversy here, okay? The guy was found not guilty, fine. However, we all know what went on there, okay? So, why? Because if it doesn't fit, don't convict, or whatever that guy said, okay? So, it's brilliant, right? So, the Walmart jurors, you're the defendant. You're not going to get a fair trial, even if I can get everything possible into evidence, which, by the way, is going to be difficult. If everything else falls in place, which is probably not going to happen. Murphy's Law, trust me when I tell you, when trials go down, everything possible will go wrong. And here's what's going to happen. The Walmart shoppers see you as defendant. They're prejudiced. You're assumed guilty until proven innocent. I'm going to say one thing about Jeff Settler, left Jeff Run again. If you guys out there, some of you have been in prison, but 1% of the U.S. population is in prison at any given time. You're probably going to say, wait, it's only 0.8% something. So you statistic guys telling me in front of notes down there. So if you want to say it's fine. Okay, I'm going to round things out. So 1% of the population at a given time is in prison. The United States is supposed to be a free nation. Well, a lot of us are not free. And it's something like 1 out of 5 of us are going to be arrested in our lifetime. This country likes to put people in prison. We have more people per capita in prison in this country than any country on the planet. This is not so la-la land that people make it out to be. So you guys, are you ready to spend years in jail? You have not been in prison. I deal with a lot of this. Prison is hell on earth. And I'm not saying kill yourself. Under no circumstance do that. I'm saying a lot of you are going to have thoughts, am I better off dead or alive being in that situation? Do not kill yourself. You will get through it. You will be fine, and you will adjust. However, you just essentially ruined your life. So before you pull, before you punch, make sure that you can deal with the after effects.
Yeah, I know we need to get into a little bit about I want to typically stay away from technical things, but for self-defense law, there are, well, I'll say it's 5 elements to self-defense law. A lot of the law books teach 4 elements, but I put in reasonableness also. So you got the innocence, imminence, proportionality, avoidance, and reasonableness. You need to up to all 5 of those to have a successful self-defense case, depending on the facts, depending on your state. your location in your state, whether it's in your home or whatever. One or more of those may be taken away in whole or in part, but it's assumed that you're going to be, like, if you're a homeowner. A lot of states, if you're in your home and someone broke through your door, you're automatically, in many states, deemed reasonable and innocent under that particular fact. People are always wanting to know nuances of the law, but for me, there's a channel out there called Active Self-Protection. He has over 1.1 million views. He shows people getting killed, murdered, maimed almost on a daily basis. That stuff used to be rated X back in the 1990s. And when people look at those videos, they see, well, this person got away with it here, but they're not getting away with it here. Well, it's different facts. That's almost kind of like a gray zone. And I used to teach live events. I no longer put in those videos because I think those videos are disturbing. I don't want to make killing somebody and viewing it mainstream. And sometimes I feel like the students who are, if they come to my class, they want to be aware of something. So they're kind of like an echelon above the normal concealed carrier person. So they could probably handle it. But what I've seen is these videos are making more bad choices and more bad decisions for other people because they are assuming, well, it worked in this situation, it's not working in this situation. Well, a cop did this in a large media event, but how come it's not okay if you're a civilian? Can you express to people that just because you see it in a video doesn't mean that it is your facts if you get involved?
So true. Good points. Look, folks, journalists are barbaric vultures. They will find that guy in Texas who defended himself and say, look, he pulled and he fired dead center and everything's fine. They don't, I think I mentioned this in our last interview, they don't follow the case. Usually, not always, but usually, unless the politicians are involved, who are corrupt, by the way. And I speak a lot of truth, by the way. I run against the grain, I run upstream. So, folks, if you're not into that stuff, I respectfully say to you, I'm not for you. I speak truth, and a lot of people don't want to hear the truth. Most politicians are animals. They're corrupt. I'm not ever going to say anything more than this. A lot of judges are corrupt. Police officers are heroes. We respect you. We salute you. It's a job that Jeff used one time, narcissists. There are a lot of narcissists in the police department. So these videos show not reality, where judges, crazy narcissists, prosecutors, crazy narcissists. These are not nice people. They're not nice people. So the three doctrines, you folks, we'll just go through the doctrines. And the blue states will have usually something called a doctrine that is so insane. It's a retreat doctrine. Now, what does that mean? There are cases, and do your research, where people have retreated to their bathroom and said, I have a firearm, do not keep coming towards me or whatever. And they were prosecuted because they did not, here it comes, wait for it, go into their bathtub, okay? So retreat where? How far? According to some prosecutors, don't want to make it political, on the left. They don't like you people have guns. They don't like you using them. And if you haven't retreated maybe into your drain hole, you haven't retreated far enough, okay? So they don't tell you this. So we have the castle doctrine. What does that mean? Yeah, a castle is your home. So supposedly here, we're allowed to fire, let's just use the word, if it's reasonable. or a fight even. Remember, fighting, we're fighting to the death. If someone's in your home, if you don't have a firearm, it's not going to be a nice fight. Okay, we're not talking, fisticuffs. Old days, people definitely my age around those ages. In the old day, we used to fight. Somebody would fall down, you walk away. Well, that's not what goes on these days. Okay, so if someone's in your home, you're having a fight. This isn't a fisticuff, British law or something. Okay, you can, according to the laws. However, if you fire in those states, you're going to have bracelets on and you're going to be prosecuted. Now we have the stand your ground states. And allegedly, from what Jeff's saying, yes, in the stand your ground states, you should, according to the statutes, according to common law, black letter law and all that jazz, you should be able to stand your ground, which means once somebody's in your home, you have the right to fire according to the law. And a lot of you guys who are underneath are going to say, yeah, I live in Texas, whatever. They stand your ground, you get to my home, he's dead. Let me tell you what's going to happen. You're going to have to, as Jeff said before, you are going to have to rationalize your actions. You are assumed in the new milieu, the new world, the way crazy things have gone, you're going to have to prove your innocence because you're assumed guilty. That's reality. So these videos, they're teaching how to get in trouble and possibly how to be dead. Okay, so do yourself a favor, start educating yourself, and stop believing everything you're watching, because that stuff is telling you a lot of stuff's going to get your ass in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I have the perfect anecdote that happened in St. Paul, Minnesota a few weeks ago where the homeowner didn't know this, but it's a little bit of a backstory that a guy stole a car. The store was he stole a car. It was incapacitated. The police were chasing him, and he ran through a yard in St. Paul. The homeowner was outside, and he shot the suspect. And right now he's in trouble with it. This is a little bit of a nuances where I say facts and location is going to be very, very specific, because if you see it on the video and someone tells you that, oh yeah, it was okay in this situation to do whatever he did, well, Minnesota is a duty to retreat state. Minnesota does have the castle doctrine, but it's inside the home. Minnesota does not regulate or recognize its tutelage. The other states also have an itemized list of violent felonies where you can use deadly force to stop a felony. Technically, a stolen car is a felony in the state of Minnesota, but in many jurisdictions, it has to be a violent felony. And Minnesota doesn't have that itemized list of violent felonies outside your home. Now, it's specifically inside your place of abode where they list felonies, but it's inside your place of abode. So he thought that he was on the right side of the law, stopping this guy coming through his yard and stopping him. Yeah. Guess what? It's only 2 weeks in. I am sure, if he's lucky, he's going to get manslaughter. If he's not lucky, he's going to get.
If he's lucky.
Yeah, if he's lucky, manslaughter. If he's not lucky, he's going to be second degree murder.
Right.
Don't take video advice as gospel. If you do follow the innocence, imminence, proportionality, avoidance, and reasonableness, that you are the innocent party, that you're in immediate threat of death or great bodily harm, that you're using the force that is proportional to the situation, avoidance. Just because, and we talked a little about
avoidance, big word, avoidance.
Avoidance is the biggest thing possible. Even though that Minnesota is a duty to retreat state, it has to be, if you're not in immediate threat of death or great bodily harm, you can get away anyway. If you're not in immediate threat of death or great bodily harm, you should get away. If you don't get away, you're kind of stupid. Stand your ground. Even in stand your ground states, there are now 6 states. Utah is going to be the next one that is going to be a hard stand your ground state. All the other stand your ground states are soft stand your ground states, where the finder of fact could actually go after your reasonable standard if it was so unreasonable. Let's just make a story. Let's Star Trek a little. All you had to do was hit a button and a force field comes up and no projectile can get you. That's all you had to do. But you stood there like a stubborn mule. Like if you're in a car accident and a car slams in the back of you, you stop your car about 200 feet in front. The guy gets out of the car with a machete. You son of a biscuit eater! I'm going to just slap you. And you see this guy running at you for 200 feet, and your car, all you had to do is get in your car and drive away. And when you got into the Tueler drill, 21 feet, you took out your gun and you shot him. Really?
You're done.
You're done.
You're done.
The reason the stand your ground states, soft stand your ground, that can the jury can actually go back and say that was so unreasonable that now that stand your ground has been taken away from you. Like states in Pennsylvania, you have 3 hoops to jump through in state Pennsylvania. One is that you have to be in a legal place where you're able to be. You're not creating a felony. And guess what the third one, guy, is? Being attacked immediately by a deadly weapon. Really?
Yeah.
Are you going to be jumping through all those 3 and say, oh, I got to stand my ground because I'm a stubborn-ass mule because, we have that law? No. Reasonableness. Human thinking is what we really need to go by. Innocence, imminence, proportionality, avoidance, and reasonableness. If you can intellectually go through all 5 of those in that split second, and I'm not sure that everybody can do that, you are more than likely not going to need Lazaro. You're not going to go to jail. Well, you may go to jail in the beginning, but you're not going to be spending the rest of your life in jail.
Hopefully. Yeah. So it's so true. Look, avoidance is so key. Just if you can, of course, Jeff and I, we're not saying don't defend yourself. We're saying there's a gray zone. We're saying when necessary, defend yourself. However, we're saying in that gray zone, train, talk to each other, talk to your trainers. When you're training people, teach them that there are real, deep, serious, catastrophic consequences to defending yourself in this new world. I call it almost like New World Order. No, it's not necessarily the new conspiracy New World Order, but look, guys, things are being ordered in a different way. These people go about, I'm going to, for instance, do the Good Samaritan thing, and I'm going to put somebody under citizen's arrest. Guys, look, please don't do that. Just came to mind for some reason. Okay.
I got it. Just remind me of something. I'm on your Facebook page. I have a friend, Luke, and you're doing a video series down in Florida with a couple of MAA guys. One of the videos, one of the videos was had a gun scenario involved, and part of the training is taking away a gun, and now you're pointing that gun at the other person, and you want to put them under citizen's arrest? Really?
No, don't do that.
Talk about that a little bit, about you taking a gun away, now you're pointing a deadly weapon at another person who is no longer an immediate threat of death or great bodily harm because you now have all the proportional force, not the guy.
Look, Jeff, this is such fertile ground. Look, folks, I'm giving you my opinion again. Do whatever you want. You're adults, you're big boys and girls. Do what you want. In my opinion, if you have the ability to get that gun away, which, by the way, sorry about that.
No,
so there. Okay.
Yeah,
okay. There we go. All right. Yeah. So okay. So
and just to let you know, we have 5 minutes left on our video.
There we go. Okay. Let's rock and roll. Okay. Rock and roll time. All right. So if you have the ability to get that gun away, which, by the way, is only going to happen through 10,000 minimally times you've done that, so it's burned into something called mind muscle memory. Okay. Do not try to get a gun away from somebody if you don't know what you're doing. You're going to lose and you're going to get shot in the face, okay? Most of the times getting shot in the face does not have good results. So do I not take a gun away? Yes. Do I know for sure I'm going to get that gun away from that guy? No, and I've done it 10,000 times, okay? If I did get the gun away, here's what I'm going to do, and having respectfully probably more legal understanding and knowledge. And by the way, I was a bad guy at one time before, so I was bad guy and good guy. So I've had experience on both sides of the law. I've had my ass kicked by cops being a bad guy, and I've been let's say, kicking cops' ass in a different way legally now. Okay, so I know both sides. Okay, so you guys who are bad guys or been bad guys, trust me, I'm in the 50 club, been in 50 street fights minimally. Okay, so I did not grow up very well, and I had a bad time, and I was a drunk and whatever else. Okay, that all being said, if you get that gun from that guy, here's what you do: run. Don't hold him there. Get on the phone. If you don't have a phone, don't ask for somebody else's phone. Now you're going to have, by the way, another charge. Okay, give me your phone. Okay, if you do that, you just did crime. Don't do that. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to get that gun. What happened now?
I
Did I
still
lose you?
no, I still have your audio. It's just
Hold on.
your. There you go.
Oh, there we go. Okay, we go. Okay, so I'm sorry, hit something. Okay, so don't do citizen's arrest. Don't do anything of the like. Do minimal. Okay, so let's start bringing this to a conclusion here. Okay, look, guys. Leave your ego at home. Leave ego at home. Rambo movies and all this stuff, it's movies, okay? It's not real life. The videos on YouTube, 99% of them are directing you the wrong way. We're directing you the right way. Okay, you're saying, well, who are you to say that? I'm telling you that I know what I'm speaking about. I hope you can feel that. Walk away when you can. Do not take things personally. If things get to the point where it's escalating, get yourself ready to defend yourself. However, don't do things that are unnecessary. If things get to the point where, yes, now there's no other choice to defend yourself, because it's absolutely crystal clear, if you do not, your life, your body, your family's life, whatever, is in danger, then yes, defend yourself. By the way, one thing to throw in, these laws in the United States that you can kill somebody because they're killing your dog or they're stealing your car. Go ahead, fire somebody stealing your car. I'm saying sarcastically, don't do that, okay? You're going to prison. I don't care what the law says. I'm telling you, do not just YouTube videos. One last point to make very clear. What the laws say and what reality is going to bring to you are two different things. Are we hearing this? Even though you may be in a hardcore stand your ground state, if you fire, I'm telling you, any bullet down range, I'm coming to defend you, meaning I'm talking about me in a more Legion way. We're Legion. We're coming, and we're going to take, by the way, during the process, your home, your savings. I'm going to rape you financially. It's what I do. It's what we do as lawyers. Okay, you understand? We're not nice people either. We smile to you because you're paying us a lot of money. I'm going to wreck you. And if you think your wife's going to be after your house is done, and by the way, you guys know that, you tough guys, my wife loves me. I'm going to spend 7 years in jail. She's waiting for me. Your wife is not going to be there, okay? It's not happening. She's gone, okay? Gone. You understand? Gone. Bye. Yeah. Okay, Jeff, close it up.
I want to share this page real quick. Again, this is Angelus Lanza's book, MA Law, Legal Self-Defense, and BA Blues. Again, this is what, if the way I kind of look at it, this book is about an uncle talking to his nephew. That's the way I kind of, in a real format. If you want to know how sausage is made and how the legal system is going to be looking at you, this is a good book. Even if, under my genre, it's more of a self-defense with a deadly weapon compared to MMA, just because MMA law is in the title doesn't mean that you're not going to be getting anything out of it. This will get you to really understand that after you read his book, you need to know intimately innocence, eminence, proportionality, avoidance, and reasonableness in your jurisdiction.
Good words. Good close. Nothing more than you can say. We did it.
Okay.
Boom.
So again, I'm going to be continuing to tapping into his knowledge over the next few months, and again, his next book, The Gray Zone, or whatever it's going to be called. I do look forward to it because I'm always looking to, again, my knowledge is an autodidact kind of person, autodidact university. I gain knowledge through other people's books, okay? I don't have the opportunity to know how sausage is made like he does, but all I can do is build the knowledge of everybody that I read. So this is going to be entering into my library. Anything else, my friend?
No, just guys, stay safe, please. Stay calm. Avoid violence, if at all possible. Seriously, there's nothing but bad things coming. You don't want me in your life. You want me in your life in a funny way like this, but you don't want to see my face every day. Okay, it's not a good thing. Really, please stay safe. Live your life. Live in peace. Live in harmony. Avoid violence. By the way, you guys out there who are aggressive, lower your aggression. Go into a gym, punch things, get it out of your body. Just really calm down. And yes, I understand it's a violent world. Only if necessary to defend yourself. Otherwise, stay out of trouble. It's really not worth it.
My name is Jeff with 2A Self-Defense Law. I hope this helped.
Lazaro Angelus Lanza. Yeah.